I'm going to share with you today a case study breakdown of how one of my clients went from really inconsistent months, feeling like she wasn't sure how much she was going to be making each month in her business, to consistent $5,000 plus months every single month within just a couple of months of working together. This client, when we first started working together, she was around 3K months, but it was very inconsistent. She came to me and she was saying, I would just love to feel like I have that foundation and just feel like I'm a bit more consistent in terms of my income each month. It was very much up and down, but it was around the 3K level on average when we started working together. And just 2 months into working together, just 60 days later, she had a $5,000 month and had already secured $6,000 for next month before the month had even begun. So before she even got to the first of that month, she'd already knew she had 6K coming in at a minimum without any new sales. Her income became so consistent. She became fully booked with clients within 3 months. And here's how we did this together. So the first thing we did was we really prioritized her existing clients and her past clients. For her, she had such great relationships with people. And we really knew that there were a lot of people in just her community and in her space who would be a great fit for her program, for working with her specifically as a website designer. So we really focused on filling up those spaces with people who we knew were a great fit. And the way we did this was personally inviting people. So actually, reaching out to some people and, inviting them to continue working together, inviting them to take on that other project, etc. And we were really intentional with the new clients she was taking on, because we knew that for her, it was really important to, as it is for a lot of my clients, have that work-life balance. So she was not wanting things to be really unmanageable, have a whole load of new clients, have it be really big and overwhelming for her. So we were really intentional with the clients we took on, and we're really prioritizing clients that were going to be sticking around longer term, of making sure, okay, is there a way we can work more long term with clients? Can we have more extended relationships with people? And this was one of the big things, which was such a small shift, but made the biggest difference for her, of just not needing to consistently go out and find new people, but actually just the people who were already in her space, the people who were already in her community, had worked with her before, or were existing clients, actually just continuing on those relationships for much longer than she previously had focused on. So the lesson to really take away here is actually just personally inviting is really powerful, especially for, if you've got an existing client talking about working together on a longer term project, if you've got a previous client, if you've got someone who you just know would be perfect for a program, invite them to it. And I think this is something a lot of people just don't talk about. If you know someone is really a perfect fit and you can help them, you've had a conversation around something they're struggling with, invite them to just have a conversation about working together. Ask them if they would want to have that conversation, because they've probably been thinking about it themselves. And this is such an underutilized strategy, but it's such a just genuinely helpful thing to do as well. If someone says they're struggling with something or they're looking to achieve something, saying that, hey, I can help you with this. Do you want to talk about that? It's such an underutilized strategy that not enough people are using. The second thing we really did together was we got crystal clear on just what she was looking to create long term, and she began building a second business then around this. And we were really able to do this intentionally while growing that first business to those 5K months, setting all of the foundations for that, and just really being intentional again with her time and a schedule which just allowed the space to actually do all of that. So again, that was just being really intentional with, as we were growing that first business to 5K months and essentially doubling the size of the business within a few months, being intentional with the clients she was taking on, how she was managing all those responsibilities, how she was, even just the email admin, how that was being managed, and just being really strategic with where her time was going, knowing how important that was going to be, not just in terms of her and the work-life balance, but in terms of having the capacity to actually not only grow this first business to 5K plus months, but also grow a second business at the same time as well. A really important lesson we took away here, and I think this was a really big shift for her, is realizing your income actually can be consistent, because it's so easy as business owners to think that our income needs to go up and down every single month. We need to have, that almost roller coaster feeling, and it can't feel stable. It is not true at all. And I think specifically for this client, we talked a lot around obviously, creating the packages and creating the just foundations for things being more consistent for her. And you can really intentionally set up your business to bring in consistent income, which is something this client just hadn't really considered before, of how can she actually make sure the business is set up to create consistent income, to get to the place of, I already have 6K coming in next month and the month hasn't even started yet, right? And this really applies to just every stage of business. This can apply to whether you are day one, whether you are year 10, it really doesn't matter. There are so many shifts you can make to just promote reoccurring payments, promote people staying with you for longer, promote more long-term contracts, promote clients coming back again for other projects, etc. There's so many things you can do, and I think it's easy to prioritize finding new sales and finding new clients and new leads, but actually you have a lot of people already in your space. And this client in particular, she didn't need to go out and get a whole load of new people. It was really just the people she already had in her space, and utilizing those best to literally get from the position of being at inconsistent 3K months to 5K months. Just from that shift, really, that was the big thing which she did. And it meant that it didn't take a lot of time for her. It meant that it was really a sustainable thing for her. And she wasn't actually really working any more hours to actually almost double the size of her business then. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope there's been a lot of takeaways for you from this client case study. If you found this helpful, make sure you give this a like below, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow.